You want me to conjugate all those verbs and split those infinitives. I hate reading. I just want to be a good housewife. Shh.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today we're covering one of the classic Peanuts TV movies that ended up becoming a TV movie, Snoopy Come Home.
Yes, this movie shows Snoopy, whom after feeling underappreciated at home somehow, he soon receives a letter from his original owner that she's sick, and he runs off to see her. Without the troublemaking beagle, the Peanuts gang realize how much they really miss him. Oh.
And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, with notification these on future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Absolutely, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for joining us and for subscribing.
Yes.
So this movie originally came out in 1972 as a theater movie.
Yeah, and we all this time thought it was a TV movie, became a DVD movie. We had no idea it was at the theaters.
Well, it became a DVD movie because it needed to do better than it did at the box office. And there was a budget of $1 million to create this back in '72.
Wow, yeah.
And it only made $245,000 at the box office. So it was considered a huge failure. But later on, people started watching it when it came out on DVD. And as of September 2020, it got a 93% rating, positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes when it still mattered.
Right.
And New York Times said described it as sprightly, clever, and hilarious treat. All that a comic strip should be seen on screen is even better than A Boy Named Charlie Brown, which began the series. So
okay.
It became more appreciated later, and that's happened with quite a few movies over the decades.
Yeah, definitely.
And one big first in this movie is the debut of Woodstock.
Yes! Yes, the little birdie actually appeared in here. And we were thinking he only appeared in the comics, so I think that's one of the pretty neat things about it. We were thinking they were just introducing him like, oh, he's the biggest star of this movie. And it's like, why?
Now, another thing that stands out about this particular special, or I guess you should say movie, is that if you can recall or you've read, Vince Guaraldi, I'll get his name correct, did the score for almost all the Peanuts films, but for this one, he didn't have a composition done. So it was composed by the Sherman Brothers, who at the time had done music for Mary Poppins, The Jungle Book, Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yeah,
so
that explains
that's the difference in the sound.
Yes, except why they had a lot more numbers in here too, and stuff you would probably sing a tune to.
And amazingly, it was considered a animated musical comedy drama.
Really?
So
okay, that's an
he
interesting
really
way.
Went all out on this particular movie. He got adventurous, and I guess decided to do something different. And maybe at that time, people weren't ready for something different.
Probably, yeah.
And for generations later, everything that's come out for the Peanuts franchise is beloved because we get to see the entire selection that being done, not as they were released originally from the 50s throughout, but we've been able to see them anytime we want, whether it's on TV, DVD, or on streaming.
Right.
And that makes it really different and easier to fall in love with a lot of these specials and movies.
Right. And what adds to the drama in here, besides the girl being sick, which was not the first time Peanuts has done that, they even had a whole episode where a kid was sick with a disease and surprised they even did that as an episode of special at one point, is the fact that of how Snoopy feels about the gang, or how the gang feels about Snoopy. And for one way, it looks like all they do is rag on him and complain and everything. And what looks like for Snoopy, all he does is take advantage, thinks he's supposed to be waited on. He's a sophisticated dog, and he drives him crazy and everything. And they even got to a point here where, Snoopy was usually everywhere. But in this movie, I guess maybe people were tired of him just being everywhere. Everywhere he went, on his either at home or on his way to seeing Lila, is that every place said no dogs allowed. all of a sudden, no dogs allowed. It was, he couldn't go on the beach, library, he couldn't get on any transportation, no bus, no train, no little cars, he couldn't be in hotels, he couldn't be in combos, he couldn't be at the doctor, he couldn't be anywhere. He had to walk the whole way there and try to find a way to steer still, even to the point where it said no dogs or birds. So then we asked the question, was like, so cats can just roam free then in this world now. And I thought it was kind of funny because, like, well, Snoopy's been allowed all this time. I guess they said, okay, we've had enough of this dog. Just ban all dogs now. Even the little disguises weren't working for him anymore. And it was adding more to the frustration because it feels like he can't really do much, even though he gets away with quite a bit. And especially when he makes his little journey, and it feels like he's almost there, and in the last leg of it, he's been locked out of it.
Now, also during the course of this movie, he's adopted by a girl that is like Elmira.
Oh gosh.
And she's crazy as heck. Her name is Clara, and Clara is cuckoo. And she mistreats Snoopy. She locks him up. She chains him up. She does everything to him. She
oh
is
my
just
god.
Looney Tunes. And Snoopy needed to escape. He
Oh
could
my
not deal with
God.
her. You could not deal with her on the screen.
No.
She was like Elmira.
Yep.
She's one of the worst characters ever created by Peanuts, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, he couldn't wait for her to be gone.
Right? Oh my gosh, you just felt so sorry for him. It's like, we know Snoopy pulls a lot of crap, but he didn't deserve that. And she,
She's like, oh, come back. Yeah.
and she's practically strangling him with the rope and everything as a leash, and he's like, make it stop.
And it's like, poor Snoopy. And as you mentioned, there were so many places kept saying no dogs allowed. You didn't expect for his saving grace to end up being that he could not live with Lila
Right.
in the apartment, because she was like, oh, Snoopy, I miss you and I love you, and now you can come back and we can be a family again, and my family and I moved into this place, so go ahead, go back and tell everyone your goodbyes.
Well, that
And
was
then come, it's like she didn't even ask him or give him an option. I was your first owner, so I need you, so you come here and live with me now. And
Right.
what was weird is Snoopy just did it.
I guess, because like you said, it was his first owner. You know what they say about the first in a lot of their fiction, they always go back. Only if it hadn't been for that sign saying no dogs allowed, he probably would have gone. He would have gone back.
And that would have been the end.
And this was a pretty little girl, so yeah, of course we want to live with her.
So maybe he just remembered, as you said, maybe he remembered that she had him first before he was taken back, and he was really happy when Charlie Brown adopted him, as we said in Snoopy's Reunion when they show that backstory.
Right.
And after that, he became a terror.
Right.
But before that, he was just happy, I think, to be with someone else.
Right.
So I guess he had fond memories and a loyalty to the first owner.
Right.
Which is an interesting part to put in the movie.
Right.
And maybe during that time when this was at the movies, maybe people didn't want to see Snoopy had another owner. They were so used to Charlie Brown since the 1950s. They were like, well, we don't want to see him with someone else.
Right. Then maybe that's why. And speaking of Charlie Brown, you also end up seeing a lot of Peanuts gang, how they react to him. And yeah, in the beginning, they're really furious with him because he's always screwing around and messing with them, trying to take the blanket, trying to get a kiss from a girl. He's always causing mess. And then after he disappears for a while, no explanation because he got the letter, he just gets his things, takes off, says goodbye, he'll be back, and that's it. And people have to figure out what's going on because like he's gone for days, doesn't come back, and they're actually getting concerned. And then when he does come back and tells them he has to go back to his old owner because she needs him, they actually are upset that he's going to be gone. They even had a little going away party. They got him gifts, which were all bones. They actually and they were actually crying that he was going to be gone.
And he was crying too.
Wow!
Yeah, that's Snoopy crying. But he took all his bones with him.
Right, I don't know how. And so you saw he did care about them, and all his little issues. They cared about him too, and it was nice to see because sometimes you kind of wonder because there were points where it got a little mean-spirited a couple times, but it was nice to see that they all did genuinely care for each other.
And when he came back. They had a little celebration as well, like they won a championship or something.
Right.
And a cute fun fact for this movie is that it actually had a board game.
A board
Snoopy
game?
Come Home board game.
Oh my gosh.
You should be seeing that right about now.
Oh my gosh, that is actually hilarious.
And if anyone has ever played it or heard of it or has a parent or grandparent, most likely a grandparent probably, that played this game or owned it, let us know in the comments below. Had no idea this existed, never heard of it, and never seen it except for this picture that you're seeing. I bet that would be worth quite a bit of money now.
Right. I guess making the board game out of everything was like making the video games out of everything.
Right. It sounds like it, because yeah, I mean, that's what they had.
Right.
But this is a special that's fun in parts, but for the most part, it's not really fun, and that also may be another reason it didn't do well.
Yeah.
At the box office.
Yeah, it's a little more serious than the other movies. And thankfully, you know, no one passes on. There's nothing really tragic in there. But I can understand why a little more lighthearted is because you're used to laughing at all the antics of the Peanuts gang. You get that in the beginning, but after Snoopy leaves, it kind of becomes a dramedy. And leaning towards more drama because he's gone.
Right.
So I can understand that.
So we still recommend you watch this. So far in our revisiting and or first viewing of any of these specials and movies, we haven't seen one that we would say just don't watch it. But we're going to keep watching and giving you reviews, and if we do get to one, we'll be honest and let you know. But this we do recommend to watch. It's different from the specials, the holiday specials and things.
Yeah.
But there's a story. It's still endearing. And as you said, the Peanuts gang gets to realize how much they need Snoopy and how much he needs them and how much they love each other, and it has a happy ending. And not for Lila it wasn't a happy ending because he left, but for everyone else in the movie there was a happy ending.
And she was looking like, how did I not see that outside the place? She was like, oh, stupid.
And then the last thing I think about when I see them having the party is like, oh, they gave you a real nice party. You had donuts and sandwiches and lemonade and real food, and then Thanksgiving you gave them toast and jelly beans and popcorn. You should have remembered this, Snoopy.
Right?
So if you've seen Snoopy Come Home, let us know what you think in the comments below. Is it one of your favorites? Is it something that you have seen once and once is good enough? Or if you've never seen it, let us know what you think. And if you haven't seen it, we own it on DVD, so you can purchase it on Amazon. We don't know if it's available to stream. I've never seen it available to stream.
Maybe it's on Max.
And this is
or Apple
possibly.
TV.
And this may be another one that Apple didn't buy, because we did see an advertisement that is going to be coming on one of the retro channels this fall.
Yeah.
It came on one of the retro channels. So if they're airing it on a cable network, then that means Apple probably didn't get the rights to this.
Right.
So give it a watch and come back and tell us what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos, and favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And thank you so much again for joining us. We appreciate you so much. You are awesome. And what would we do without you?
I'm Masculine Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.